Lie down on your back. Make yourself comfortable. By all means, if you want a pillow, grab a pillow. Don't necessarily need it, but sometimes it's nice to have it. Your low back bothers you, please make sure your knees are bent or that you are supporting your knees with a bolster or a pillow. Okay, otherwise, your legs can come straight out onto your mat, palms facing up towards the ceiling here. And give yourself the permission to move around, to adjust. Yeah, sometimes we lay down and we're like, I gotta move my arm or I gotta adjust my shoulder. Give yourself a minute to do that. And then you'll gently let your eyes close and begin with those three sighs. So, three times breathing in through the nose and sighing it out through the mouth. After you take those three sighs, slowly letting the breath move in and out through the nose, unless for any reason your nose is congested today, since we are coming into that season. And by all means, breathe through the mouth so you can breathe deeply. Notice for a moment here before we get moving, what parts of your body are making contact with the floor beneath you. And just give you a moment here, maybe a minute or two, to go through the body, maybe starting from the top and going down, or the bottom and going up. And just feeling those points that make contact. There are points that are touching, and there are points of the body that are not touching. Observe during that time of quiet if your mind stayed focused on the task of feeling where the contact points are, or if your mind moved away into that habitual pattern of thinking. Noticing that, not judging it, not putting any expectation on it, but simply having the awareness of the nature of your mind. Very good. You can keep your eyes closed if you like for these beginning parts. You can open them if you want at this point. You're just going to go ahead and bend your knees And I like to press my feet down into the floor and just kind of lift my hips and tuck my tailbone. And that's going to lengthen out through your low back, which is kind of nice. And we're going to start right arm only. Okay, so you're going to lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. Maybe your fingertips point up to the ceiling and you stop here. Okay, maybe you start to reach your arm up over your head. Maybe your thumb comes all the way to touching the floor over above your head. And then you bring it back down to center. Okay, you're staying on the right side. So as you inhale, you're lifting that right arm up, going to your place of comfort. And as you're exhaling, of course, you are bringing it back down. Remember, slower is better. A lot of times our mind wants to fly through everything, but when you slow it down, you can really feel where's the stretch. Next time that right arm comes down by your side, you're going to keep it by the side. We'll meet there. And then turn your palm up towards the ceiling. So the back of the hand is making contact with the floor, right side only. And you're going to bend your elbow and then just start to reach the arm out to the side. Again, maybe coming up over the head. And then as you exhale, bringing it back down by the hip. As you're doing this, I call this kind of like a half little snow angel, if you will, right? You're trying to keep your fingernails on the ground. If that feels easy for you to do, to keep the fingernails on the ground as you're moving that right arm up and down, out to the side, see if you can also keep your elbow on the ground. Okay. And doing those two actions are going to help you stretch that chest area a little bit deeper. So if it's too much stretch, let that elbow pop up. Don't come up as high. Those are a few options for you. The next time that right arm comes by your side, you're going to let the palm come back towards the floor. And before we go to the other side, take a moment to feel the difference between the right side and the left side, the right arm and the left arm. And one side's going to feel a little different than the other. Just taking a moment to observe that. And then coming now onto the left side. So as you inhale, you're going to lift that left arm up and fingertips are going to point towards the ceiling. Okay, you can stay here if you want further again. Start to reach it up over the head, or maybe the thumb touches the floor up above your head. And then as you exhale, you're just bringing it back down next to the hip. Remember, slow is key here. Let's do one more breath here. Then we're going to meet with our left hand down by our side, and you're going to turn the palm up towards the ceiling. Okay, bend the elbow, and then start to see if you can lift that arm maybe up over the head, maybe it stays out to the side. Okay. And then coming back down to that starting position. So first you try to keep your fingernails down on the floor. And if you're finding that one or two or three of your fingers are lifting up off the floor, then you stay there working on getting those fingernails down. If the fingernails stay down, then you're working on keeping those and the elbow on the floor. Okay, and you might find that you don't go quite as high as you do when you're not paying attention to keeping everything rounded. It's all good, it's okay. Right, so obviously this is a stretch for the chest. Um, that really technical term I use sometimes called the armpit chest, the space between the armpit and the chest. Um, but also a little bit of range of motion for the shoulder itself. So for my count at least, this is my last inhale and exhale. We will meet back at that starting position with the palm facing the floor now. So both palms down by your sides and facing the floor. Good. Let's get the low back a little bit here. So just draw the knees into the chest and you're going to rock it a little bit side to side. And again, just a reminder, I like to do this pretty slow and I really feel the stretch when my knees drop to one side. Say they're dropping to the left. I feel that stretch in the right side of my back. And when I slow it down, I find that the stretch is better. It's a little deeper. It lasts a little bit longer. I get a little bit more of a release, right, than when I'm just flying through it. All right, we are coming right into dead bug. So a little bit of core as well. So remember, when we're doing core in this class, I'm not focused on like a six pack kind of deal. We're doing deep functional core work so that when you're standing and you're sitting, it helps your posture. So you're going to lift your feet up so that they're like in tabletop. Okay? You want to flex your feet, knees are bent, and then your arms are going to reach up towards the ceiling. Okay, fingertips engaged, and just pay attention to your low back right here. Okay, so a lot of times we get into this position and our low back is arched a bit. Okay, so I want you to almost imagine like there's a brick on top of your abdomen and it's pressing your abdomen down towards the floor. Okay, so pull the abdomen in and feel the low back pressing into the floor. Now release that and let the low back arch just a little bit. So you're still in that kind of dead bug position, but the low back is lifting away from the floor. And then press it down again. Breathe, keep pressing it down. So again, engaging those deep functional core muscles. Right? And we have to learn that we can engage those core muscles while still maintaining the ability to breathe. Right? That way, when we're standing and walking and sitting, we can engage those muscles and still take deep breaths. So we're going to relax that low back one more time. And then you're going to pull the belly in, press the low back down into the floor, maintain that. And then we move into our fluid motion. So left leg and right arm reach out. Maybe they touch the floor, maybe they don't. I don't care. And then you bring it back up to that dead bug. And then you go to the other side, right leg, left arm reach. Maybe they touch the floor. Again, maybe they don't. I don't care. Right. And you're going back and forth. So, what I do care about, don't mean to say I don't care, I do, but what I do care about is that the low back continues to press down into the floor as you're doing this. So if you're trying to tap the floor and you find that the low back is arching, don't tap the floor. Don't go that far. Okay. This should feel challenging if you're keeping that low back down. The abs, the core working really strong here. And again, this helps you when you take those walks, when you play pickleball, when you're sitting in the car and you're driving and your back hurts. Find these muscles, engage them. Good. Let's do one more each side. Awesome. Place your feet down onto the floor. Take your arms down by your side, kind of where we were a moment ago. And you are going to lift your head up so that you're looking either towards your thighs or towards your belly. See if you can get the shoulders to come off the floor any amount here. And you're going to reach your right hand towards your right foot. Maybe you tap it. Then you're going to come back to center. Then you're going to reach your left hand towards your left foot. Again, maybe you tap it and then you come back to center. And we're just going to do that a couple times on each side. Let's do one more each side. Awesome. Put the head down, arms down, and then just roll your head side to side a few times here. A little neck release. All right, bring yourself back to center. We're going to do one more thing before we get off our backs. All right, so arms are by your side. I want you to bring them out just a little bit, like 15 degrees. Okay, palms are going to face down. This is our traction twist. And I worked a little bit last week with this where I slowed it down and I got some really good feedback. So I want to share it with you that were not here last week. Okay, so you're going to bring your feet as wide as your mat. You're going to flex your feet. So that means only the heels are pressing down. Okay. Lift your hips just a little bit. Tuck that tailbone, lengthen the low back, then let the hips come back down. Good. Drop your knees to the left. Relax that left inner thigh. Focus on the right leg, right? So we've done all this before. Push that right knee away from your body, okay? Like you're going to push the knee and it's going to touch the wall on the other side of the room. Left inner thigh relaxed. Now, this is what we haven't worked on yet. Curl that tailbone in towards the pubic bone, almost like you're trying to round your back. Tailbone comes towards the pubic bone, little pelvic tilt. Push that right knee away again. You should feel a pretty decent stretch in the front of your right thigh. Okay, that hip flexor. Breathe. Bring yourself back up to center. Rock the knees to the right. Relax the right inner thigh. It wants to grip. I know it does. Relax it. Okay. Flex the feet. Protect the knees. Push that left knee away from the body towards the opposite wall. Now curl that tailbone in towards the pubic bone. It is a small action. Like you really can't see much happening from the outside, but you feel it on the inside. Right? So tailbone draws in, but little pelvic tilt back. Push that left knee away again. Feel that stretch get deeper. Remember to breathe. Good. Bring yourself back up to center and then just rock the knees a little side to side without pausing for quite so long. Right. But now you know the anatomy of drawing that tailbone in and then pushing that knee away, and you get a much deeper stretch. If hip flexors are typically a place that are tight for you. Another thing that's really helpful for posture, right? If you think about posture, when we have poor posture, we're rounding our shoulders forward. The front of our body is more contracted. The back of our body is much more stretched out. So, to help our posture, we have to reverse all that. We want to lengthen the front body. All right. Bring those knees back in towards the chest one last time here. Rock it side to side. If you want to do a little roll, you can. A little rock and roll. And reverse it. Bring it the other direction. Good. All right. So come up to sit. And I'm going to show this. I'm going to demonstrate this sideways. You obviously sit in whatever way is most comfortable for you, but I find demonstrating this sideways, you can see it a lot better. So my feet are going to be on the floor with my knees bent. Okay. I'm going to take my hands behind me. Ideally, my fingertips are pointing forward. Okay. If that feels like it's too much on your wrist, certainly you can bring your wrist or your fingertips out a little bit. But ideally, if they can point towards your body, that's best. Okay. You're going to bend your elbows a little bit. Okay. And this is a little opposite from what you think. I want you to actually roll your shoulders forward. And then I want you to lift your chest up. And then you're going to bend your elbows back. And just stay here and breathe for a moment. Some of you are going to feel this stretch immediately. Some of you are going to feel it in a few moments. Good. Release that. Let those shoulders roll back. All right, roll the wrist if you need to. So if you felt a decent stretch with that, stay there. Okay. If you did not feel a decent stretch with that, I want you to put your hands back where they were and then bring them back one hand distance behind where they were. Roll the shoulders forward, lift the chest, bend the elbows back. Breathe. Right. Think of lifting where the armpit chest is. That super technical term. Right. So I know with the shoulders rolled forward, it's very counterintuitive from what I normally tell you, but this gets you a stretch in the shoulder and in the chest. That's a bit unique. Good. Bring yourself back up. Roll those wrists. We're going to do that just one more time. So if you felt it a good stretch in the first one, stay there. If you felt a good stretch in the second one, stay there. If you did not feel a stretch, then you're going to go to the third one. Okay, so put your hands where they were the first time. Stay there. Bring them back one. Stay there if you want. If you want more stretch, you're bringing them back again. Okay. Same action. It doesn't matter where you are. Roll the shoulders forward. Lift through the armpit chest. Bend the elbows back. Breathe. And bring yourself all the way back up. Cross the legs. Roll the shoulders back in circles. Good. All right. So switch the crossing of your legs. Beautiful. Keep those shoulders back and down. Reach the arms out to the side, fingertips on the floor. We're going to start with the right arm. So, depending on the stretch that you're looking for here in the chest and the side body, your right arm might reach straight out to the side like this. Okay. Turn your palm up, reach the fingertips. If you want more, then you're going to flatten your left palm on the floor, start to bend that elbow, and start to reach your arm up. Maybe the arm comes up over the head. Okay. Obviously, the more the right arm reaches, the more stretch you feel. Make sure that right sit bone presses down, and then bring yourself all the way back up. And then we're going to go to the other side. Okay, so right fingertips on the floor. Reach that left arm out to the side. Keep the chest nice and high. Turn the palm up. Yep. Maybe you stay there. Maybe you flatten that right hand on the mat. Start to bend the elbow and then reaching that left arm up, maybe over. Beautiful. Very good. And you breathe. Good. Bring it all the way back up. We're going to do that one more time each side. Then we'll come on to cat cow. All right. So come back to the position you were, the right arm. They're out to the side or lifted up. And you're just going to start to make some backwards circles. So if your arm's up over your head, it's going to look like this, right? If your arm was more out to the side, then you're making a backward circle like this. Okay. Good. And then release that right arm down. Love it. Other side. So go to where that left arm is comfortable. Make those backward circles. A little shoulder mobility, of course, and a little chest stretch here. One side, you might be in a different position than on the other side, and it's okay. Remember my favorite saying, we are bilateral, we are not symmetrical. Good. Bring yourself back. Love it. All righty. So come onto your hands and knees. By all means, if you're uncomfortable on your hands and knees, you can do cat cow seated, of course. Otherwise, go through a few cat cows here, and we'll end up in a child's pose. And I want to show you guys puppy pose today. So we'll work towards puppy pose. All right, spread those fingertips nice and wide. As you exhale, you round the back, drop the tailbone, drop the head. As you inhale, you reverse it, lift the tailbone, lift the head, let the belly drop. Bring yourself through neutral, meaning just tabletop. And then you'll do a little side to side cat cow. Right? So just exhale, look over towards your right foot, rounding out through the left side of the body. You inhale to center, and then you exhale and you go to the other side. Look past towards the left foot, rounding out through the right side of the body. Again, you don't need to rush through this. You literally get a better feeling of the stretch and you slow it down. And then you're going to make your way back into child's pose. So big toes touch, knees are nice and wide. You bring your hips back towards your heels, and you just reach the arms out in front and let the head drop. You do have a pillow or a bolster close by. This is one of those poses where the floor feels kind of far away. Then you can always put a pillow in between your knees and just rest your torso on it. Good. Walk your hands over to the right, side body stretch. Of course, let your head come with you. Okay, so you determine how deep your stretch is by how much you're reaching with your left hand. Okay. If you want less stretch, bring that left hand back, maybe towards the middle of the mat. If you want more stretch, maybe walk your fingertips away from the body a little more. Maybe cross your left hand and put it on the other side of the right hand. And then come back to center and walk it over to the left side. And same thing here. You determine the stretch by how much you're reaching that right hand. Less stretch, hand comes to the center of the mat, more stretch, walk those fingertips away. Good. Bring yourself back to center. Walk the arms out in front of you. Make sure the head is resting on something. You can stay here, or you can bend your elbows and put the palms of your hands together, just up over the back of your head. In yoga, we call it Namaste Mudra. Right? It's basically prayer hands. Good. From here, bring yourself up. And I'm going to show you puppy pose real quick. So your modification is going to be child's pose. The modification is going to be either where you just were with the Namaste Mudra or with your arms out in front of you. Okay. Puppy pose is a mix of tabletop and child's pose, essentially. It's a really great stretch for the upper body, which is why I want to do it because so many of you wanted upper body today. All right. So my legs are in tabletop. I walk my arms out in front of me. I bend my elbows and I let my head drop. Okay. So you can let your tailbone lift, like you're think literally like a little puppy trying to play. You know how they get in that like play pose? This is it. Big stretch for the shoulders, for the chest. If you get in it and you're like, nope, not today, then you're going to go into child's pose and you're going to rest in child's pose. And you breathe. So think of puppy pose if you are in that, of your spine being arched, right? So you're not trying to keep the spine neutral, you're not rounding the back, but instead you're kind of arching your back, you're lifting your tailbone, you're letting your Chest drop towards the floor. Awesome. Regardless of where you are, slowly come out of this. You're going to make your way up to stand, however you do that most easily. Good. So those of you that did do puppy pose, and if you liked puppy pose and you want to try to do it again at some other time, just know it's not something I recommend like the first pose that you do that, right? So definitely grab some water. I left mine in the bathroom, so I'll just talk while you get your water. Um, but I wouldn't recommend like waking up and going into puppy pose. Okay, you wanna open up your back and your chest a little bit first. So do some of the other things that we did before getting into that position today. Good, wonderful. All right. So let's flow through some sun salutations. And I've got a little balance today that's going to work your core and your hip flexor a little bit to counterbalance some of what we did earlier. So you're standing up at the top of your mat. Okay. Look down, make sure one foot is not further in front of the other foot. And we're just going to do posture real quick, right? We've been on a posture kick for like 3 months, okay? We're still there a little bit. All right, so press the feet down like you're upset with somebody and you're stomping your feet into the ground. Push the feet down. That's going to help you grip your legs. It's going to help you lift your chest. Now, remember that action we were doing in Dead Bug where I said pretend there's a brick on your belly and you're pulling your belly back and all those deep abdominal core muscles engage. Okay, so do that here. Pull the low belly back without rounding the back, right? It's tricky. I know it's tricky. So you pull that low belly in, okay, but you keep your chest up, okay? Think of that armpit chest, right? So, Arnell, you even pointed to this earlier today when we were talking. You're taking your thumb, you're going to put it between your armpit and your chest, right here in this space. I want you to lift that part of your body. Lift that up, and then let the arms come down. Right? When that part of the body lifts up, your shoulder blades engage. Just close your eyes for a moment. Notice how this feels. The feet stomping down, that low belly supporting your back, the armpit chest lifted, making the shoulder blades support you. And then we flow. Inhale and reach. Exhale, forward fold. Let the back round, let the head drop. Right? First big forward fold, probably of the day. Awesome. Take your hands to your legs, look forward with a neutral spine. As you exhale, round the back, drop the head again. As you inhale, reverse swan dive. So that means arms come out to the side, unhinge from the hips. Spine stays neutral. Reach the arms either above the head or out to the side. And then exhale, take it to the heart. Good. We'll do a few more like that. We'll add a few things as we go. Inhale and reach. Exhale, forward fold, round the back, drop the head. And place your hands on your shins or your thighs. Nice flat back here, neutral spine. The next time you exhale, round the back, drop the head, forward fold. Good. Reverse swan dive, reach it all the way up. Exhale, take it to the heart. Beautiful. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold, round the back, drop the head. Keep your back rounded. Bend your knees a little bit here. And just see if you can take your fingers, okay? If you have socks on, you're going to take your fingers and just try to put them underneath your toes. If you don't have socks on, you're going to take your peace fingers and try to wrap it around your big toes here. Keep the knees bent, just bend the elbows a little bit. If you feel like you want a little more, you can straighten one leg at a time, almost like when we walk our dog. Good. Release the hands. Lift up on an inhale to a flat back, half lift. On an exhale, round the back, drop the head. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach it back up, rise and shine. Exhale, take it to the heart. Good. Clasp your hands behind your back for a moment here. Roll the shoulders back, lift up through that armpit chest area that we were talking about. Just breathe here. Pull that low belly in. The ribs want to flare. Resist that. Awesome. Release those arms. Reach the arms up or out to the side. Exhale, forward fold. This time, clasp your elbows. Just rock the torso side to side a bit. You can bend your knees. It feels nice. Good. Halfway lift. Take your hands to the legs. Exhale, fold. And reach those arms out. Rise and shine all the way back up. Good. And exhale, take it to the heart. Good. So from here, we're going to do our balance. Okay, you don't necessarily even have to move. Just pick a spot on the wall or in the room to look at. Okay, you're going to put your weight on your left leg. Reach your right leg out in front of you with your toes on the floor and the toes are pointed. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you roll onto the pinky toe side of that right foot. Maybe you stay here. Maybe with that right knee bent, you start to lift that leg up any amount. And then you slowly bring it back down. And then you do that one more time. Otherwise, you're keeping that right foot on the floor. You're working with your balance there. If you're lifting up, you bend that right knee. You start to lift the leg. Toes are pointed. And you release it back down. Good. Release the arms down by your sides. Just roll that left ankle out a little bit. Roll it both directions, of course. All right. Hands back at heart. Okay. Find your focal point. Take the weight into the right leg. Right. Stomp that foot down. All right. Take your left toes, point them, straighten the leg, put the toes on the floor in front of you. Perhaps you stay here. Maybe you go onto the pinky toe side of that left foot. The knee starts to bend a little bit. You just play around with this. Maybe you bend the knee and you start to lift that left foot up into the air. Right? It can hover, doesn't matter. You did lift that left foot. You're slowly going to place it back down. All right, we're going to do that one more time. If you are lifting, roll those shoulders back, press through the right foot. Good. And then you bend the left knee and you just start to lift that left leg. Beautiful. And then you bring it back down. If it was lifted, release that. Good. Palms are down by your sides, facing forward. Just one big collective sigh here. Take a deep breath in. Open the mouth side out. Awesome. So from here, we are going to come onto our back. We're going to do a little spinal twist. I always like to end in a twist. It's really good for the back. You need a glass of water, grab a glass of water, and then you'll come into Shavasana. So, however you get to your back most easily after that sip of water, go for it. Great. So, definitely wanted to get plenty of shoulders and upper body in there. Hopefully, you guys learn some new stretches um, that you want to incorporate to your life. I also wanted to get a little core in there too. All right, left leg is long on the mat. Hug that right knee in. Reach the right arm out to the side, palm faces down, about as high as your shoulder height. And as you exhale, twist, spinal twist. Bring that right knee across the body. Remember, if your right shoulder is lifting off of the floor, that means you've twisted too far. I want to make sure that right shoulder stays down, stays grounded. All right, untwist. Go to the other side. Left leg's in. Hug the knee. Left arms out to the side, almost at shoulder height, just a little bit lower. And as you exhale, you twist. Bring that knee across the body. It's okay to move and adjust a little bit. Left shoulder stays on the ground. Awesome. Release that. Bring it back to center. Hug both knees into the chest. And then release into your Shavasana. So, Shavasana, same as in the beginning of our class. You can keep your knees bent. It's the best on the low back. You can even bring your feet wide, let your knees rest on each other. It's called constructive rest pose, really good for the low back. You want to do traditional Shavasana, just reaching your legs out onto the mat. Your arms by your sides, about 15 degrees out, palms face up, and the eyes ever so gently close. Maybe just taking these last few moments, noticing how your body feels, the energy that's flowing through the body. Places that feel more open and expanded. And bringing that attention back to the places in which your body is making contact with the floor. Nice, slow, deep breaths in and slow, deep breaths out. Always remembering you are welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. If you choose to stay, I will end the meeting for you. If you are coming back at this time, you're going to wiggle the fingers and toes, roll the wrists and ankles, and just move in some gentle ways that feel good for you. My personal practice, I like to do that. I like to do like a full body stretch and then hug my knees into my chest, usually what my body calls for. There's no wrong answer here. And then you'll eventually roll to your side and then push yourself up to sit and the head come up very last. Wonderful. Looks like we got everybody that came back. So thank you so much for joining today. I hope your cup is filled. Mine is filled. I love you guys. Peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, peaceful intentions. Namaste. Love it. Thank you, ladies. I love how everyone does that. That's so cute. Have a great week. I'll see some of you tomorrow. For those of you that I don't, have a wonderful week. Much love. Hope you enjoyed it today. Bye.